Welcome to Tauragė, the border city built on the banks of a river called Sea. You'll find Tauragė district municipality in western Lithuania, next to the border of Russian exclave Kaliningrad. Tauragė is around 2.5 hours drive away from the capital Vilnius and around 1 hour from Klaipėda, the port city. The population of Tauragė district municipality reaches around 37,000.
Tauragė is quite an old city, first mentioned in history in the 16th century. Its name sounds quite interesting to a Lithuanian ear, as it means the horn of an aurochs, an ancient now extinct wild ox. Maybe they used to roam these lands back in the day? Anyway, the city's name and symbol can be admired right in the city center. Tauragė has always been a border city, the main customs stop at first between Lithuania and Prussia, later Germany, and now Russia. Because of that, the city has suffered immensely during the wars, and it was nearly torn down to the ground during both world wars. Only a few buildings are still standing from the days before the wars, including the most prominent in Tauragė, the castle. Taurage Castle is right in the center of the city, and it looks like no other in Lithuania. But it is not actually a castle. Strange, huh? It was built in the middle of the 19th century in a neo-Renaissance castle style, with walls and towers on each corner. However, it was never used as a castle. Right from day one, it was used as customs office. There were also living quarters for the officers, and it even had a prison for people detained at the border, including smugglers and even the Lithuanian book smugglers who were active during the Lithuanian language prohibition from the Russian Empire in the late 19th century. Today, this is the main museum in the region, which is well worth a visit. It has interesting and interactive exhibitions about local history, ethnography, and nature. The towers also have some exhibitions. One of them even has a lift to see its basement. The Castle Museum is quite a good place to go with kids. There is lots for them to enjoy and even games to play. Additional to the museum, the city also has another remnant of the old days, the Lutheran Church. Tauragė has the largest Lutheran church community in Lithuania, which is understandable, as it was at the border of predominantly Lutheran Prussia and Germany for centuries. The stone church looks lovely with a park surrounding it, great for a short walk. If you feel like having a longer walk, then head to the riverside of Jūra River, which crosses the city. Jūra means sea in Lithuanian, and it can be fun to trick others with its name. Anyway, Jūra River bank in Tauragė is a lovely place for a stroll, with a small waterfall of a dam at the edge of the city. Further on the other side of the river, there is one of the most popular places to visit in Tauragė, Tauras Adventure Park. It's a great place to spend a few hours or a whole day with kids, and not just kids, with all sorts of fun outdoor activities available there. It is famous for tree climbing, with many tracks available for children and adults too. But there are also slides from the hilltop, a giant net that is like a labyrinth. This was my son's favorite. This site also has many other activities available, playgrounds, and a 1.5 kilometer long barefoot path. There are also little houses for accommodation in nature, and some of them are actual tree houses. Tauras Park definitely left a good impression on us, and we will surely come back here when traveling in the area. It's time to head out from the city and explore the district's nature. For that, the best place to go is Pagramantis Regional Park. Pagramantis is famous for its rivers, Jūra and Akmena, their steep outcrops, and countless suspension bridges above the rivers. I have already mentioned some of the regional park in my video about Šilalė district, which also has a part of it. Tauragė has a larger part of the regional park, including the visitor center, which is a good place to start exploring. The center has a fun exhibition inside, which helps to get to know the park. Just outside, there is a new and currently probably the most famous spot in the whole region, the observation tower, which looks more like a stairway to heaven. At the top, we can see great views of both of the previously mentioned Akmena and Jūra rivers at their confluence. This definitely shows off what this regional park is about. The observational deck is built on the edge of the hill, and for those who are not fans of heights, there is also a smaller bridge nearby to see the surrounding nature. Not far from here, there are several educational walking trails around the nature of the regional park. One of them is the Bunkers Trail of Molotov's defense line in the forest, where you can see 3 bunkers along a 1.5 kilometer long trail. There is another trail nearby leading around Pagramantis village. It passes by a cute wooden church built in the 18th century, then through some suspension bridges above Akmena River. Later, the trail takes you to the main sites here, the hill fort of Pagramantis and the outcrop of the same name. Pagramantis outcrop is one of the largest of the many outcrops in the region. It is 30 meters in height and around 200 meters in length along the curve of Akmena River. The name of the river derives from a Lithuanian word akmuo, meaning stone, and it makes sense. This river probably has the most stones in it of all the rivers I have seen in Lithuania. Further upriver, there is also another educational trail and a lovely campsite called Lakštingalų slėnis, the Valley of the Nightingales. It is a lovely place to visit for the whole family, relax, and have picnics. At the same time, it's a good place to explore the surrounding nature. An educational trail starts from here, and it is also family friendly as it is just 1 kilometer long. It leads by the river curve across some of the suspension bridges and to the top of another outcrop to enjoy the views. Overall, Tauragė at first sight seems to be quite far off the way when traveling across the country, but it is definitely worth stopping by. I would gladly come back again to Tauras Park or the regional park for some outdoor activities. Jurbarkas and Pagramantis districts are also quite nearby, which provide more things to see when it comes to the region of border towns. So, see you in Tauragė, and thanks for watching.